because population दुनिया ते बहुत ज़्यादा हो गई सी इस करके गवर्नमेंट ने सोचा कि कोई शुरू करो ते उड़ाओ लोगों नू.
Crime and COVID are on the rise in London's Little India.
There's cultural issues, there's religious issues, there's international politics, and it's poor.
This West London suburb is home to one of the largest Punjabi communities outside of India.
There's a mistrust, perhaps, of authority and the state.
डर लगदा रहिंदा बस पुलिस दा चक्कर इमीग्रेशन दा चक्कर ना पै जावे बहुत औखी है थे illegal life.
At various points during the pandemic, Southall had some of the highest COVID rates in the UK, and government distrust is making it worse.
The rumours are that if you take the vaccine, what's going to end up happening is this is a big government conspiracy to get rid of all the illegal immigrants.
Someone did some black magic power, also some negative power inside your body.
I try my best to avoiding and depending on any hospital treatment.
As London battles to contain the coronavirus, authorities are at a loss at how best to protect this immigrant community that's incubating the virus and evading detection.
इन्ना बुरा हाल है साउथ दे विच.
So COVID specifically, areas like Southall, a lot of people are very much on the breadline. You've got multiple families living within very small dwellings just because that's all they can afford. A lot of rental accommodation that maybe isn't up to the standard that it should be. A lot of people that have come here don't speak English very well, so they need to be around a community that they can communicate with. Typically these guys are on 0-hour contracts, maybe working in construction. There's no furlough scheme that applies to them. So a lot of people are here illegally and they're still humans and they still need food and shelter. And because they're not legal residents in this country, they're definitely falling within the cracks.
ਇੱਥੇ ਆਇਆ ਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੁਣ ਜਾ ਕਰੋਨਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਕੰਮ ਕੁਮ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ. ਇੰਡੀਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਮਰਦੇ ਆ, ਉੱਥੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਕੋਈ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਰਟੀ ਨਹੀਂ. ਸਮਝਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਭੁੱਖੇ ਮਰ ਜਾਣੇ ਆ.
ਉਹ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੇ ਭਾਣੇ 'ਚ ਰਹੀਏ ਤੇ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਮਤਲਬ ਨਾ ਕੀ ਆ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ 'ਚ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਬੰਦਾ. ਸਿੰਘ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ 'ਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ, ਢਹਿੰਦੀ ਕਲਾ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ.
So I think there's a really distinct correlation between skepticism of any message that the government puts out, especially kind of the COVID side of things and vaccines especially. There's definitely skepticism from people just because they fear what the government's agenda may be.
Government distrust is deep-rooted here. Punjabis began arriving to work in Southall's factories in the 1950s in response to Britain's post-war recruitment drive.
In this country, in 15 or 20 years' time, the black man will have the whip hand over the white man.
But as the immigrant population grew, so did racist attacks and discriminatory policies, which provoked riots in the streets of Southall in the 70s and 80s.
Southall's got some of the lowest drug prices in the United Kingdom, primarily because we're so close to Heathrow. Don't even know what cell it's in. In you come. So police were called to an address last night by a member of the public, and as a result of that, officers have found a cannabis grow house, and this is the crop from that. As you can smell, it's really strong. Cannabis grow houses continue. That hasn't changed as a result of the pandemic. So when the pandemic first hit, we were catching more of our drug dealers with drugs on them. Not necessarily just cannabis, but also Class A. So they were coming out of the house loaded with more product to sell more quickly. Southall at one point, for about a week, had some of the highest COVID infection rates in the country. So locally, we had to do something where we knew this was a massive driver for that. There is a rough sleeping problem on this estate. Right, let's go and have a look. Hello.
Yeah.
You all right?
Yeah.
All right, just keep your hands away from there. He's got a crack pipe down there.
You are going to be searched under the Misuse of Drugs Act. Do you want to stand up for me?
Brown Rizzler and white Rizzler, white or brown. White crack cocaine, brown heroin. These glass pipes, metal foil, off the Brillo pad, put it in the end, put your Class A on that, smoke it. You buy those glass pipes for £1 or 50p in the industrial estate we've just driven through. That's somebody who's using Class A drugs. So just from an officer safety point of view, I don't want to get stabbed just with the screw like that, because that's still going to hurt and it's still going to cause a puncture into you. So we asked him if he had any sharps on him. He said no, but that's in his bedding. If that was drawn across your face or shoved into your eye, that is going to cause a police officer a real serious injury, isn't it? So all the cigarette lighters, I don't smoke. I know some people who do. They only normally carry one lighter. He's got lots of lighters because smoking drugs uses a lot of gas and they get really hot and they burn and they break. Because of the pandemic, he shouldn't be here anyway. But we, the police, have got no powers to pick him up and put him into accommodation. That is not our job. So he hasn't got Class A drugs on him. The outcome is he's going to stay where he is. He's not under arrest. I've worked here for 10 years, just in Southall. It's very deprived. There's cultural issues, there's religious issues, there's international politics, there's language issues, and there's a big migrant community. It's well documented, unfortunately, with sheds in beds. So that's immigrants being exploited by, let's call them rogue landlords. That is a massive problem still in Southall.
Since 2013, Ealing Council has investigated over 2,000 illegal dwellings, which they estimate to have at least doubled the area's population.
ਇਸ ਕਮਰੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮੇਬੀ ਅਰਾਊਂਡ ਸਾਲ ਕੋ ਚੱਲਿਆ ਇੱਥੇ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ। ਇਹ ਘਰ 6 ਬੈੱਡਰੂਮ ਦਾ ਵਾ ਤੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 2 ਫੈਮਲੀਆਂ ਰਹਿੰਦੀਆਂ ਵਾ ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ 3 ਜਣੇ ਸਿੰਗਲ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਬਸ। ਸਾਡੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਰ ਇੱਕ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਾ ਸੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਲਾਗੇ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਵਾ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਜਣੇ ਨੂੰ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਚ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਮਤਲਬ 5-6 ਜਣੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ। ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੋਂ ਡਰਦੇ ਹੋਣ ਵੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਕੁਝ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਕੋਲੇ ਕੁਝ ਮਤਲਬ ਵੀ ਡੇਟ ਆਫ ਬਰਥ ਨਾ ਜਾਵੇ ਨਾ। ਕਈ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਵੀ ਕਈ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਟੂਰਿਸਟ ਆਏ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਫਿੰਗਰਪ੍ਰਿੰਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਫਿਰ ਡਰਦੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਐਡਰੈਸ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ। ਮਤਲਬ ਵੀ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ 2 ਜਣੇ ਹੀ ਇਸ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਬਾਕੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਕੋਲੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੀਗਲ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ। ਇਹ ਘਰ ਲੈਂਡਲੋਰਡ ਨੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਰੈਂਟ ਤੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਵਾ, ਉਹਨੇ ਗਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਵਾ ਪਰ ਜਾਣ ਪਹਿਚਾਣ ਦਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਤਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੰਨ ਲਓ ਲੈਂਡਲੋਰਡ ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਰੈਂਟ ਵਾਲੇ ਕੋਈ ਘਰ ਛਡਾਲੂਗਾ ਫਿਰ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮੂਵ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੀ ਪੈਣਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ।
Illegal immigrants have overcome harrowing journeys to reach the UK, but when they arrive, the reality is very different to what they expected.
ਤਕਰੀਬਨ 2010 ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ। ਮੈਂ ਏਜੰਟ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਕੀਤਾ, ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਨੇ। ਘਰੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਗਰੀਬ ਹੋਣ ਕਰਕੇ ਵੀ ਪਤਾ ਵੀ ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੰਮ ਕਾਰ ਵਧੀਆ ਚੱਲਦਾ, ਫੇਕ ਪੈਸੇ ਦਿਖਾ ਕੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਲਵਾਤਾ। ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਲਈ। ਉਹਨੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ 12 ਲੱਖ ਰੁਪਈਆ ਯੂਰਪ ਦਾ ਲੈ ਲਿਆ। ਅਸੀਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੀ ਕੁਝ ਮੁੰਡੇ 8 ਜਣੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਪਲੇਨ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਰਸ਼ੀਆ ਆ ਗਏ। ਉੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚਣ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਪਾਸਪੋਰਟ ਲੈ ਲਿਆ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਭੱਜ ਬਣਾ ਸਕੇ ਨਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਉੱਥੋਂ। ਤੰਗੀ ਦਾ ਸਾਹਮਣਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਿਆ ਜੀ ਕਰੋਨਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਕੰਮ ਦੀਆਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲਾਂ ਆ ਰਹੀਆਂ, ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਰੈਂਟ ਵੀ ਦੇਣਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਹਰੇਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਆਪਣੀ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਪੈਸੇ ਭੇਜਣੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ। ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਕੋਲ NHS ਨੰਬਰ ਮੰਗਦੇ ਜੀ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਗੈਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਇਲਾਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਾ ਸਕਦੇ। ਥੋੜਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਡਰ ਗਏ ਕਿਤੇ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਨਾ ਲੈ ਲਵੇ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਲੀਗਲ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਜੀ। ਇੱਥੇ ਫੇਕ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਉੱਦਾਂ ਉਹ ਥੋੜੀ ਬਹੁਤੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਜੀ। ਇੱਥੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ 'ਚ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਜੀ ਝੋਲਾ ਚੱਕ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਜੀ, ਪੈਸੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਚਾਰਜ ਕਰਦੇ ਜੀ, ਮਜਬੂਰੀ ਕਰਨ ਇਲਾਜ ਕਰਾਉਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਜੀ।
I have encountered a lot of vaccine hesitancy in my patients, and it actually worries me because the patients who I am most concerned about that will do badly with COVID are the same group who just don't want to engage in conversations about the vaccine. You know, hospitals were always full of people dying, but it wasn't like this before. It wasn't young people who were fit and well, who we didn't have anything to offer. There's a mistrust, perhaps, of authority and the state. There is a feeling that people are trying to get your details and they'll say it's medical help, but then suddenly everyone in your family will receive a knock on the door. I think there's a fear that the healthcare service is in cahoots with the immigration services. It's a population that's not got great health literacy and has missed out on certain public health messages. There's a kind of gossipy village sometimes, like a casualness about it. You could call it magic, you can call it faith. I do see people who just trust in something else that isn't this model of healthcare that we're kind of purveying in a hospital.
When residents of Southall feel distrustful of Western medicine, they turn to community faith healers who are only too willing to offer their services.
Anybody coming, police, any counsel, you ask you my hair appointment.
Hair appointment, yeah. Hello, hi.
Yes, what do you want to know, brother?
I've been having a lot of anxiety and things, and I was thinking, could I get a reading or something to help me with my problems?
Tell me your right hand.
Are you doing reading?
Yes, I will tell you everything. Sometimes you'll get bad feeling, negative feeling when you're sleeping. You can't sleep very happily.
Yeah.
Someone did some black magic power, also some negative power inside your body.
Oh God, okay.
Someone they did some negative prayer. They are not good people. Who they did, their jealousy, their enemy. We have to remove this, brother.
How do we remove it?
We have to do some bad removal prayers. Whatever I need your photo, keep it in my prayer place. I'll send it inside your body, some positive energy. Whatever you feel inside your body, the negative, I'll remove outside. I'll remove out. After you're gonna feel all positive. If you're okay, I'll do it, but it's gonna take some cost to do this.
Well, okay, what's the cost?
£500.
Oh, so what does the £500 cover?
I will buy the things.
You're going to buy things?
Yes.
What things are you buying?
I will buy 201 lemon.
Okay.
201 lemon and flower.
Flowers,
You understand?
Okay. Yeah.
Some things, black magic, remove things.
When pressed on COVID and the vaccinations, they had this to say.
But you take the vaccine if you want to take vaccination. Not now. When I'll clear this all, I'll tell you the time. The time will take that is good for you.
Oh, okay. You can tell him when to take the vaccine after you clear everything.
Yes.
Okay.
Which month you take the vaccine, I'll let you know. If you're not clear this, I'm telling to you, it is very dangerous. You think about it outside and take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, think and let me know.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Panditji. Thank you.
Don't get me wrong, there are some people within the Hindu religion that some pundits that do good stuff, but there's more bad than there are good, and they just want the money and they will tell you what you want to hear, and boom. If I ever saw them, they'd be sorry. I promise you. You know, a lot of these, they happen behind closed doors. There's a lot of undercover ones that are going on. My name is Jaspal Sandhu, street name Injection. I am a ex-criminal, ex-gangster, rehabilitated. I was involved in every single thing that you could possibly think of. I'm talking murders, drugs, kidnappings, blackmail, firearms, money laundering, you name it. I've spent a good 20 years of my life kidnapping people and hurting people, torturing people. You know what I mean? You know, like cutting fingers off and cutting people's ears off and shit. And like, you got to make enemies across the way. You're not going to have people that are going to be saying, "Oh, he's a really nice guy. You know, he cut my ear off last time." You know.
During the pandemic, Injection has seen crime patterns changing radically to adapt to a new normal.
A lot of these drug addicts, how they used to make their money is they used to walk in and out of these shops that were open on the Broadway. They'll steal something and then they will sell it literally the next shop down. What's happened is everything's closed. There's nothing for them to steal. So now we've all started breaking into houses. So they will sneak into your house while you're in bed, sleeping. 70, 80 houses that have been broken into while they're sleeping. They've woken up in the morning and everything's lying all over the place. The other thing is catalytic converters. You could go park your car up, you could go in the shop. Before you've picked your item up and paid for it and come out, your catalytic converter's gone.
Injection knows from first-hand experience that during desperate times, people will do desperate things.
There's so many theories out there that one person will send it and it will spread like wildfire. They said, I think it was malaria tablets. If you took these tablets, your corona is gone. So every single shop here that was selling malaria tablets was out. I remember coming to this chemist here and I queued up here for about an hour and a half. I had to force the guy, I had to stick it on him. I said, listen, I want boxes now, I want 3 boxes. He's like, brother, I ain't got any. I said, listen, I'm gonna come over that counter. I said, I'm gonna beat you, yeah? I said, I want 3 fucking boxes. I was just worried about my parents, you understand? But this is what I mean, innit? It's just like, I didn't know how much of it was true. I'm getting messages from family members. My mum and dad are telling me, get this malaria tablets because it gets rid of coronavirus.
One of Europe's largest Sikh communities is working to feed local homeless and unemployed people in a massive food drive which started at the beginning of the pandemic.
So now we have entered the Langar Hall, where you can see it's very quiet due to lockdown. These are all the langar, so the rotiyan prashad that are cooked, and we pack 2 in a roll, so 2 per bag, and this will now go out to the back where there's takeaway, so the takeaway langar for the community. Selfless service is food for the soul. You feed your appetites every day, so how about feeding your souls by helping others and caring for others? I feel I've been blessed with this gift where I'm able to connect spiritually to my Guru and to hear and listen to what Guru tells us. He says everyone is equal, everybody treated the same, despite who you are, where you come from. And this is the beauty of Sikh values, equality. We are all one.
The pandemic, along with cultural factors and poverty, has created a mental health crisis in an at-risk population, causing drug addiction to skyrocket.
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਵੀਂ ਸੀ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਇਦਾਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਾਲ ਪੀਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਬਸ ਉਦੋਂ ਤੋਂ ਕੰਮ ਖਰਾਬ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸਾਰਾ ਮਾਲ ਪੀਣਾ ਪੈਸੇ ਬਣਾਉਣਾ ਮਾਲ ਪੀਣਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਸੀਗਾ ਬ੍ਰੌਡਵੇ ਵੀ ਬੰਦ ਸੀਗਾ ਸ਼ਾਪਾਂ ਬੰਦ ਸੀਗਾ ਲੋਕ ਬਾਹਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਪੈਸੇ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਬਣਾਉਣੇ ਆ ਸ਼ਾਪਾਂ ਹੀ ਬੰਦ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਸ਼ਾਪ ਲਿਫਟਿੰਗ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ ਫਿਰ ਡੀਲਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਮਾਨ ਲੁਕੋਇਆ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਕੱਢਣ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਇਹਦੀ ਅਗਲੇ ਨਾਈਫ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਤੇ ਮਰ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਬੰਦਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਭੱਜ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਬੁਰਾ ਹਾਲ ਆ ਸਾਊਥ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੀ 1 year ਤੋਂ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ 7 year ਤੋਂ ਮਾਲ ਪੀਂਦੀ ਆ no money no clothes no food no shoes, no sleeping. Like sometimes I'm no sleep 3 weeks and I'm walking on the road. I sleep ho gaya. मैं सारे च बज गया एकदम मैं थले फ्लोर ते डग गया 2-3 hours में जो wake up हुई मैंने पता नहीं मैं किथे आ because no home no house. मैं सुनिया कहंदे ਉਹ ਕਰੋਨਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਲਾਉਣ ਨਾਲ ਟੀਕਾ ਲਾਉਣਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਰੋਨਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਾਉਣਾ Yeah, because population ਦੁਨੀਆ ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਸੀ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਕਿ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰੋ ਤੇ ਉਡਾਓ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਲੱਗੀ ਸਮਝ ਇਹ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਦੀ ਆ ਪਰ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਇਹ ਤੋਂ ਬਚਣਾ ਤਾਂ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੀ ਆ
These conflicting viewpoints have created a perfect maelstrom, leading to a disproportionate amount of deaths in this community. Despite these challenges, everyday people remain resilient and still hold hope for a brighter future.
This pandemic was the first time I saw that the values of Sikhism give strength to people who had every reason to be really scared, and that really moved me.
I've transformed, I've brought in religion, I've brought in spirituality into the work that I do. I still do the crazy stuff, but I try and do it in a good way. I try and help people.
ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਪੀਣਾ ਸਾਰੇ every single person drug ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੀਂਦਾ ਉਹ ਦੁਖੀ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ 100% ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਗੀ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਆ ਕੇ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰੂੰਗੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ
ਫਿਰ ਖੁਸ਼ੀਆਂ ਆਉਣਗੀਆਂ ਵਿਆਹ ਸ਼ਾਦੀਆਂ ਹੋਣਗੀਆਂ ਢੋਲ ਵੱਜਣਗੇ ਬੋਲੀਆਂ ਪਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਗਿੱਧੇ ਪਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਰੋਨਾ ਖਤਮ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ ਫਿਕਰ ਨਾ ਕਰੋ ਖੁਸ਼ੀਆਂ ਕਰੋ ਖੁਸ਼ੀਆਂ ਭੰਗੜੇ ਪਾਓ